Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. What a day. I swear every time I come on here, I'm tired. Like, it's got to be one Sunday where I come on, I'm just not tired, right? I worked last night. I covered someone for their shift online. So I did an 8 to 12. I did 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. and then turned around and this morning did an 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So I'm pretty sleepy. And then out, I'm doing my mother's hair. So I'm almost done with it though. So happy Sunday to everyone. Now, if this is your first time joining, my name is Berjo, also known as Be Elise. I am the owner of Be Elise Notary Services as well as the Notary Education Group. Every Sunday, I try to come on 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about business and notary related topics, give tips, and answer questions in real time. All right. So today, we're going to be talking about, is your notary work a business or a side gig? How to choose your structure and stay compliant. All right. If you are here, I'd like to know who's watching. So say hello, drop your name. Happy Sunday to you. So let me pull up my topics because you guys know when I get to talking, I can talk, and I want to stay on topic. So let me see if I got this saved here. Mhm. Let's move this over here so I can see. I swear, I'm just so unprepared today. I don't understand. All right, here we go. This is it. So I've talked about this before. Talked about, starting your business, getting your ducks in a row, making sure that everything is ready to go. Because if you are going to be representing yourself as a business, you need to be set up as a legitimate business. And the only way you can set yourself up as a legitimate business is by going through your state. Okay, you have to register with your state. Now, there are a few different types of structures that you can choose for a business. All right. And those business structure types are sole proprietorship, limited liability company, partnership, or a corporation. All right. And I have seen, you know, all types of stuff on Facebook, people talking about this, people asking, what should I do? And I am not here to tell you what you should do. I am here to just talk about the different options. And you will have to do your own research and more specifically talk to your tax preparer to see what will be a good option for you. Okay. So sole proprietorship is a simple setup, but it doesn't separate personal and business assets. Okay. Which means that if you are operating as a sole proprietor, that means that your assets and business assets are one and the same. Okay. Next, you have your limited liability company that offers personal liability protection, and that's a popular choice for notaries. Most notaries, we have a limited liability company. When I first started my business, I did not have my notary business as a limited liability company. And this is because I already had a travel agency. So I added my notary business as a DBA. All right. So that's also another option. If you already have a limited liability company, instead of you creating another limited liability company, which can be a little pricey, I don't know about you guys, but in Florida here, it's 139.75, I think. So I don't want to pay that twice. So I didn't need both of my companies to be a limited liability company. And furthermore, I ended up closing my travel agency due to COVID. It was very stressful. And I ended up converting my notary business from a DBA of my travel agency to just being a limited liability company. So even though my business was registered in 2020, I did not become an LLC until 2021. All right. Next, you have the partnership. And partnerships are suitable if you're working with another notary or partner and sharing responsibility. So you have a lot of couples, husband and wife, who started in the notary game and they're working together. So they may have a partnership, or they may have a partnership limited liability company, a PLLC. All right. So they are sharing the responsibility of the company, but still their personal assets are separate. Then you have the corporation. The corporation is generally less common for notaries, but it is an option for larger ventures. So signing services may be a corporation because they are on a larger scale. You know, they could be a limited liability company, but some of them are, they may be a corporation. Okay. And then you have your S Corp and your C Corp, and that's a whole different type of beast. All right. So once you have decided on how your business is going to be structured, you're going to register it with your state. All right. Once you have figured out you're going to register for this structure, you got to decide, and they're going to ask you this during registration, how is your business going to be managed? Is it going to be member managed, manager managed? All right. Member managed means all members of the company have equal ownership, all right, and are equally responsible. Manager managed means that the member has designated a manager outside of themselves to run the operations of the business and take care of all the things that you really don't want to take care of. And you may even give them more responsibility to do things that you normally would do as the business owner. Okay. So member manage or manager manage. All right. And I'll explain to you guys a time when this really matters. So I changed banks and I went to the bank and I'm thinking I got all my stuff in order because I do all my research and I got my business registered, I got my operating agreement, I got my bylaws, I got my member certificates, I got all that cute stuff in my little binder over here, right? But what I did not understand was the manager structure actually mattered. So when I went to the bank, they asked me, they said, you're opened up an account, you have a business, right? And so I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking all I need is my articles of my articles of organization and my EIN number. Okay. And they're like, no, we need your articles of organization to show either you're a member managed company or a manager managed company. And so I'm like, well, the last bank I was with, they didn't ask me that. They just took my articles of organization and my EIN number. But when I very first registered my business, I was on there as manager. MGR is what it was abbreviated. And this year, when I renewed, I changed it from manager to CEO. CEO is not how the company is managed. CEO is just the title that you give yourself in the business. Okay. And so this was new for me. I'm like, oh, okay. So for a limited liability company, there's only two management structures that you can use, member managed or manager managed. So I put on there manager managed, but I should have put member managed, but I can't change it now. So in order for me to update my articles though, I can pay a fee to change it or wait till my renewal period, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wait till it's time for me to renew. I'm not going to pay an additional fee, just to change that a little bit. But I have my meeting minutes and my operational, wait, my operational agreement, and my bylaws. And none of those documents showed that I was the manager or a member. It didn't have my name in there. It just said reference to article organizations. So I had to come home after I was at the bank for 3 hours and change all of that so that it will say that I am the sole member and designated manager for my my company organization or whatever, right? And I didn't realize that that little bit of information was extremely important. So this is why I decided to do a live on this. And I know it's probably not going to be as popular as all my notary related stuff, but remember, I come to you guys on Sundays to talk about notary and business tips, okay? Because I can drill into you notary all day. But if none of y'all got y'all business legitimately set up the correct way, you're doing yourself a disservice just by just doing notary only. You need to know more than notary if you're out here operating um, in delivering services for a fee. If you're delivering services for a fee, you are a business and you need to be set up correctly. All right. So moving on. Member manage or manager manage. You decide. All right. Then you want to discuss how to choose a title that aligns with your business structure and operational role. All right. So now we're talking about my title in the business operations is CEO, right? My title for the company is member. I'm a member or I'm a manager. Well, I'm actually both, right? Getting your EIN number. Please don't be scared about getting the EIN number. It is totally free. If you go online and you see people are charging you for an EIN number, that's a scam, okay? You go on irs.gov, you type in EIN, it will take you to the page to register for that. Now, you need to wait until your state has approved your business registration before you apply for an EIN number, because it's going to ask you your business name. And you can't claim your business name for the EIN if your business name has not been approved with the state for which you're registering. And I've had that happen before where I wanted to call myself the Creative Travel Co. CO for company, but they said that CO could be looked at as corporation, and I can't apply for a limited liability company calling myself a corporation. So they actually denied that, and I had to change the name. So this is why you need to wait till you get your paperwork back from your state saying that your registration has been accepted and approved before you apply for your free EIN number, which is abbreviated for Employer Identification Number. Okay? Next, we're going to talk about understanding back end versus front end work in notary business. Okay? So you got your business set up, right? I just told you how to set up your business. Okay? Now, you need to get your paperwork in order. The same papers that I told you I had to take to the bank to open up a business bank account, this is the paperwork I'm talking about. Your operating agreement, your bylaws, which bylaws are not required for a limited liability company. It is required for corporations. Your meeting minutes. You won't understand how important it is to have meeting minutes until you are trying to apply for any type of loans or credit cards for the business. All right. So, meeting minutes is you having a meeting to discuss any type of operating procedures, outlining company rules, decisions that you need to make on behalf of the company. You're having basically a business meeting, right? And you're going to record this. Okay. Now I know you're asking, well, if I'm the only employee, then the only worker, does that even make sense to do? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You can use meeting minutes to claim all type of stuff. All right. You know how you be seeing people on social media saying that they are using their trip as an expense? All you got to do is have a business meeting and record that business meeting using your meeting minutes template. And I have one in the library for the academy. Record that. It needs to be documented, and you need to keep that record. You can absolutely write off that trip. Okay, so yes, if you're the only worker, meeting minutes don't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a single member, partner member, multi-member. Okay, so meeting minutes. All right, and then when it comes to your website, all right, And don't forget, we're talking about back end stuff. Okay, I'm not talking about front end where you're going to be servicing customers. We're talking about the back end stuff that makes a big difference. All right, it does matter. So, if you have a website, you need to have a privacy policy and a terms and conditions, and maybe even a return and exchange policy. All right, you need to have all three, and you need to make sure that they are available for the public to view. Okay, and whatever those terms and conditions are, whatever your privacy policy states, whatever your return policy is, you need to abide by that. All right, this is you being a legitimate business. This protects you and it protects your customer too. Okay, it protects your customer because you can't just decide that on a Sunday you want to change things up and it's not listed in your terms and conditions or return policy. And if you did update it, you better make sure that that update took place before you told the customer what it was. Because if not, your customer can use that against you. All they gotta do is go on there and screenshot it. And you may think, oh, shoot, I need to add that and update it. But if you've updated it after the fact, that's not going to be good for you. But if it is there and you haven't updated anything, they need to know that this is what it is. It says update here, effective date here. This is what it is, and this is how it is. And when you signed up for my services, you also agreed that you would abide by those terms and conditions. All right. So you need to make sure your back end stuff is tight. Make sure you have all of your documentation correct and make sure everything matches. All right. Not like when I had to come back from the bank and I had to redo my documents because I'm like, it ain't matching up. And I'm like, I don't understand. And usually when I do my stuff, I read it, but I got the templates off of trying to think. It's one of those legal websites, and I paid for it too. And I didn't proofread it because if I would have proofread it, I would have known that it didn't make sense, it didn't match. Okay, so make sure that you have all of that in order, guys. Okay, next, you got to have insurance. You have to have insurance if you are a notary because you are going to be dealing with very high-end, sensitive documents. Okay, that makes a huge difference in a person's life. And you want to make sure, hey, Nicole, thanks for joining. You want to make sure that you are protecting yourself. Okay, because remember, our bond protects the public, it doesn't protect us. So we have to have our own insurance to protect ourselves. Okay, so just like I said, all of that back end documentation you need to have, you need to make sure you had insurance too. Okay. And I just did a blog on this, so you guys don't have to take notes or anything, or you can record the video. I mean, not record the video, rewind back and replay the video. But I did a blog, and the blog is, let me see if I could, let me find it right quick. And the blog is very detailed, so you can follow it and make sure that you get your business in order. Okay, I'm going to copy it right now and put it here for you guys. All right, and there it is. Okay. Next, bookkeeping and taxes. You know how many people are not keeping track? Let me tell you guys, when I first had my business, my dumb self will wait to the end of the year and I will print out all of my bank statements for the year. That's 12 bank statements with all types of transactions. Because I had the business account, so I didn't have to worry about separating what was business and what was personal. I had my business account, but I wasn't using any type of bookkeeping software. I was trying to keep track myself by using an Excel spreadsheet, but sometimes the days that get by you, those days turn to months, and then before you know it, you 180 days behind on bookkeeping, you know. So it is very beneficial for you to be using some type of bookkeeping software. where the transactions from your bank automatically pull in, and all you got to do is go on there and categorize it as expense, income, expense, income. Okay? So make sure that you are keeping track of your income and keeping track of your expenses, because especially if you are a full-time notary, you are going to have to file taxes on what you earned. And if you don't know what you earned, then what? Okay? Even if you part-time, like I was, you still have to report what you earned if it was over, I think, $300 or $500. I made $23,000 last year in my notary business working part-time. So there's no way I would have been able to keep up with all of that if it was not for my bookkeeping software. Okay. Now that I'm full time, I have to make sure that I know how much money to set aside for taxes. So I had to have a whole different report. It's in my bookkeeping, but I had to customize that so that, because I don't have it automatically taking it out. Okay. I have to manually go on the IRS website and pay it. So I need to know how much I'm paying. So I have it as a percentage of my earnings, not of my revenue, of my actual profits, because revenue is expenses and earnings. So when you take out the expenses, you got the earnings, and that is what you're paying the taxes on. Okay? So you got to keep track of all of that. You don't want to mess yourself up, and you don't want to not report it, because if you are doing work for other companies, they have to report that they paid you. So the IRS is going to know you got some money. So you're not doing anything by not filing it, because they know if you worked for any company and they paid you more than, I think it's the $300 or $500, they have to report that. So when they report it, they're going to know. All right. Permits and licenses. I talked about this before, and this was something that I found out after my business had already been operating for, I think, 2 years. You have not, so, and I'm only going to speak for the state of Florida because I'm not familiar with any other state's regs, okay? So in the state of Florida, you register your business with the state. You have to register your business also with the county, and you may have to register with the city, okay? Every county is different. So when I was in South Florida, I had to have my business registered with the county and the city. I moved up a little further north, and they wouldn't even let me file my city. No, they wouldn't let me file my county registration without showing proof that I had the city registration. So they're not playing. If you have a business and you're operating in Florida, you must register with the county. And some counties may want you to confirm that you're registered with the city before they will even accept your registration. And in the county that I'm in now, that was the case. So I had to register with the city first, wait to get that approved, and then register with the county and upload my city registration. So I was like, wow. And when you do that, you have to have it displayed. So if you can see, let me see. If you can see behind me, there's, I'm just going to move this way. These two here. One document is for the county and one document is for the city. You have to have them displayed. I take customers in my office, so I have to have it displayed for the public. Those of you who don't, you could just have it as a copy at your place, and if asked to produce it, you better be able to produce it. Okay. So those are the permits and the licenses that I'm specifying. Okay. And then renewing. Make sure that you know when you got to renew, because if you do not renew, they will um, charge you a penalty. Okay. You have to keep track of your state renewal, your county renewal, and city renewal if that applies to you. Or you will have to pay a penalty. Okay. And if you're no longer in business, you need to dissolve your business. You need to pay for an articles of dissolution and dissolve that business, because Otherwise, you get penalized, and you don't want to get penalized because those penalties are not cheap. All right. I think it's $400 if I renew my LLC late, and I haven't looked up the penalties for the county and the city for where I am, but they don't have to worry about it because I don't plan to miss any renewal fees. I like to renew my stuff ahead of time anyway. So, additional training or certifications too. For you guys who are signing agents, you know that it is an industry standard that we stay up to date with our certifications through the National Notary Association for the Notary Signing Agent certification and background check. So make sure that you are keeping track of that too. It's like a whole lot of different dates to keep track of. So this is why it's important that you have your back end tight. Okay? Because the front end is kind of big. I mean, it's kind of easy. All you're doing is marketing and notarizing documents and networking and talking to people. That part is easy. But the back end is all the paperwork, all the reports, all the schedules that you need to keep track of. And if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, then you're not going to have your back end tight. So you got to make sure that you got your back end tight. Look at my blog, you know, take notes from there and make sure that you guys have your businesses formatted correctly or structured correctly or whatever the term is. Okay. So that was all I have for tonight. I know that was kind of boring, I know, but business stuff sometimes can be boring. And but you know what's not boring? Having to pay fees because you don't have your stuff together. Or not being able to get done what you need to get done because your stuff not together. Like me going to the bank, my dumb self done changed my articles of organization, changed my title to CEO when it's been manager for all those years. And then I changed it to CEO because I don't know. So now I know, thanks to my banker. All right, guys. So, Nicole, thank you. And thank you for joining me. I'm about to go ahead and get off of here because I got to finish my mom's hair up. But you guys have a good week. And I will see everybody again next Sunday, same time, same place. Bye.